The outcome of the particular event is that 80% people who said yes, they will come have shown up here, of course. So why do we start with this? Because it's a number and it's very easy to understand and it's absolutely clear that, okay, this event looked like it did pretty well so far. Of course, we will get more feedback from you. Now, my name is Mansaj. This is my second startup. I built my last startup and sold it. I wrote a book about that. All the people who have been on the WhatsApp group for this event saw my SRK post and also saw my shameless plug of the book. So very sorry for that. But if you buy my book, guys, I make 27 rupees 10 paise, which is a lot of money. I mean, you know, it's just life-changing money, which tells you that if you write a book, contrary to what these guys saying about LinkedIn, if you write on LinkedIn, yes, you will get more money. But if you write a book, you will get jack shit. Okay, so write on LinkedIn, don't write a book, it will not make you any money. All right, writing a LinkedIn story every day, whatever thing comes up your mind, be consistent will give you great results. I believe that. I'm guilty of not doing it myself, by the way. All right, so what are we discussing in this final session is basically what is product value. Essentially, all of you guys who are customer success people, you are trying to do one thing and one thing only. To make sure the customers who have bought your product, for whatever stories the sales has told them, sales ne kaha tha product kaam karega, all those stories the people have told them, you are the people who are supposed to make it happen, who are supposed to make it real, right? And how do we go about doing that? So today what we're going to do is, we would need your phones, of course, which you have been using to good effect for last couple of hours. We would need your phone to definitely do a couple of polls, so keep it handy. I hope it's not out of charge already. And we will basically go through this session, which is a very, very simple session to discuss. It is, bol main raha hu, but ye wo cheezein hain that we all understand quite well. All I put together is just put them all together into a very neat slide for us to understand this piece. So my first slide here is, what's the agenda? We're going to talk about what is product value and outcomes and why do we need it. We, of course, know why do we need it. Second point is, how do we actually find the product values? What is the mechanism through which you can find the product values? It's a very simple A, B, C, D steps, and I actually want to go through that today. Third step is, how do we measure it? And what should we do if something is not measuring out to be good? So that's the second part we will discuss. Third part we will discuss. And finally, we will discuss what happens if something goes bad. So the entire shebang around it. What is product value? How to find it? How to measure it? And what do we do if something goes bad? That's basically the construct. This is what we're going to do. And after we have done this entire picture, which is basically going to take another 25 minutes or so, I hope you will be able to go back and for your organization and for your business, you will be able to build up the product outcomes in a snap. That's the objective here. So stay put with me for 25 minutes and we shall get through this as well. All right. What is customer value? Essentially the core benefits, the stuff that your salespeople have mesmerized your customers with. That if you buy this product, you will get A, B, C, D. Core benefits, promise to deliver, and benefits. That's basically all about it. So we have to find these important things that our sales has told our customer that we will get this value if you buy this product from me. Now, we always keep cribbing about sales handover is not great and sales has overpromised, whatever it is. The reason is we don't measure it. If you start measuring it, you can at the very onset say that, this values cannot be delivered no matter what. So this is out of my purview. There's no way we can do this thing, but yes, rest of the things we can do. So let me make an example to show this to you. So my hypothesis is that if your customers are getting value from your product, they will forgive a lot of other things that you're really worried about. They will forgive a few bugs. They will forgive a bad UI design. They will forgive a poor support. And nothing proves my point better than this product called Tally. Have you guys seen Tally? Anybody has seen Tally? Have you seen how Tally looks? Right? It just looks like a city which has been bombed. Right? There is no painting anywhere. The roads do not have lights. It's some college guy's fantasy of putting some stuff together, hoping that he will pass in the examination. It is as badly put together. Support does not really do great. There is hardly any training. Nobody writing in Tally about LinkedIn every day. I can assure you that piece, right? But look at what Tally has done. It delivers the value. And therefore, everybody forgives them for their shitty product UI, their bad supports, because it delivers the results. So if your product delivers results, everything else is acceptable. So that's my hypothesis. And if you don't agree, okay, you have your phone, you can start making a LinkedIn post right now about something you don't agree. That's also a LinkedIn post to think about, right? Okay, so how do we go about doing this? So here is what we're going to do is, we're going to assume that all of you guys are working with Amit. Amit is the CCO of SnapMint. SnapMint is an organization which does something. I'll show you what it does. And we will do this exercise as if we are trying to find out what is SnapMint's value for its customers, right? So let's go for it. Let's go and pick up this thing. So generally what happens is, our value is described by a verb and a noun. If you go on a date with me, you will have a great time. So the verb is, go on a date with me. The value, the outcome that the noun is, have a great time, right? So the person who has won the free dinner, I hope you'll have a great time. I wish you all the best for that. But values are always verb and noun pairs. And they're really, really easy to find out. They're everywhere. They're on your websites, they're on your sales decks. This is what the people tell about their product. It is as simple as this. Let's deconstruct this entire conundrum today by looking at an example here. All right. So SnapMint, all right, we just go straight to the video because it explains what SnapMint does best. Assume for a moment that all of you guys are CSMs in SnapMint. Okay, so I'm going to play a very quick video for you, and then we will see what it does. So you can go as a customer, you can look for products. If you like a product in SnapMint, you say, okay, you know what, I'm going to buy it. And SnapMint gives you an option to not buy it in one go, but gives you an option to do a UPI-based EMI option. So for a product that's 100 rupees, you buy it for 120 rupees, but you pay it over 3 months. It does an automatic qualification of your credit history. And it gives you a, yes, you know, I'm going to give you a 100 rupee product for 120 rupees over a 6-month EMI on UPI. No credit card required, nothing else required. The product is yours. It's as simple as this, right? And a whole bunch of these guys are right now on SnapMint. Why are they on SnapMint? What is the value that SnapMint brings to these people is what we are trying to find out as a group in an exercise here in the next 25 minutes. Okay? So now that we have seen this, let's go to the next slide. So if I just showed you this picture, essentially what is the value that SnapMint is telling its merchants? That, hey, merchant X, if you come to SnapMint and put your products, what will you get? So if you look at this, this is an example where there are cases where verb and nouns are followed very close to each other. Can you see it? Let's see one. The first one is, if you click on the next slide, Nikita, let's find out. The first one is get Gen Z customers. So SnapMint is telling their customers that if you basically put your products on my platform, you will get end consumers who are Gen Z. Now, why it's important? The subliminal text is that Gen Z people do not have enough money to buy an expensive watch in one go. They also may not have a credit card. But if you come with your watch on my platform, you can find these Gen Z guys buying the product over a multiple month UPI-based EMI system. That's the subliminal text that they're following here. So get Gen Z customers is definitely an important value that they want to show to their customers. That when they meet for the QBR meetings, I am sure they would want to show that, hey, you know what? We have gotten you X new Gen Z customers, or what % of my customers who are buying product are actually Gen Z. So there you have it. Your first outcome that value you're looking at is get Gen Z customers. Let's do the next one. Get tier 2 to 5 customers, city customers, right? Why is it important? because the customers, a lot of products that are actually sold on SnapMint, there's people who are buying them are from very, very small cities where these brands do not have a presence, where they cannot open up their own establishments. It's not profitable. But if they're on SnapMint, 2 to 5 tier cities, a lot of buyers who again may not have enough money to pay it in one go, you will actually pick up an entire untapped market. So it's another value that's written right up there. So in the SnapMint's website, first sentence, you get 2 values clearly. So if I go from here, next stage, right? So now that we have gotten this, these are called postulates. That my postulate for a successful customer is that they will get Gen Z customers. And my postulate for a successful customer SnapMint is that they will be able to get customers from tier 2 to tier 5 cities. Okay, next slide, please. Right, so now let's do a quick game. We can see another line that is written below this, right? Whip out your phone, ladies and gentlemen. It's time where you get cracking, okay? So next slide, Nikita. These are my first things. Of course, we have understood these are the values that we have gotten. Let's see the next values. Next slide. This is the exercise. On your phone or on this thing, you will see options that are possible values for the customers of SnapMint who are large D2C brands. Find out the ones that you think are outcomes, product values. Take out your phone, ladies and gentlemen. This is where your phone comes in handy. So please take out your phone and, take this poll. Yep, let's start the poll. All right. Okay, it's going to take a couple of seconds. It's right up there. Okay, so please remember, we are CSMs for SnapMint. We are trying to find out the outcomes for the D2C brands who are advertising with us on SnapMint so that people can buy it. Which of these, more than one possible, which of these are necessary product values that you would want to demonstrate to your DTC brand customers? This is the sentence you have. Now create affordability, convenience for Bharat consumers and register revenue and average order value uplift. Okay? Now create affordability and convenience for Bharat consumers and register revenue and average order value uplift. Got it? Everybody has voted? Yeah, this is Lok Sabha season, guys. Come on, voting is not a bad idea. All of you guys are above 18, I'm sure. You guys can vote. Have you voted? All right, let's see. All right, still going on. You can choose multiple, by the way. This is not an election for Lok Sabha. You can choose more than one people as your preferred candidate in this case. I'm going to close the poll in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Can you go to the results, please? Results. Results. Okay. So remember, what was our persona? Our persona was that we were CS people. Who is our end customer for whom we show value? These are D2C brands, right? People who have put their products on SnapMint. We have to show them value, not anybody else. So first one, create affordability, is not an outcome. Why? Because that is an outcome for the last person buying it. The D2C brand wants to sell their product for a higher price. If it's 100 rupees, they want you to pay 120 rupees. So they are not after affordability. They're after definitely you to pay more. So the first one is not actually an outcome for the D2C brand. So all the people who have put this as a first example, sorry, you are wrong. It is not a value for any of the brands out there. It is a value for the last mile Joe there who wants to buy the expensive watch. That's it. It's not for the watch company. Average order value growth, absolutely right. With SnapMint, you can absolutely ensure that a 100 rupee product goes out for 120 rupees, which means this is something that they would want to look at. So yes, you are right about that one. The third one, create convenience. No, it doesn't matter. If it is an inconvenient buy or convenient buy is not an outcome for the Duroflex or the Cashifys or the Levi's who are on SnapMint. That is an end consumer's problem. That's not the outcome that you will sit down on a QBR and tell them. Okay? Last one is create convenience, not an issue at all. Get started is nothing. Not every noun and verb combination is an outcome. Get started is just get started. All right? There is no value for anybody. Okay? It's just simple as this. So what are the values that we come up with? From just one diagram, ladies and gentlemen, we can get, these are the outcomes we will get. Can you go to the next slide, please? These are the outcomes. The first two, create affordability and convenience, is not important for them, right? When you sit on a QBR meeting with these guys, you don't care about talking about what is the end and consumers, experience and stuff. They want to know, have I sold enough? Is my selling enough getting me more money? That's it. That's all they care for. Okay? Get started we just put it out there for fun, just because to have some fun here, just wanted to put that down. All right, so now we're moving on from here. Next slide. These are the 4 KPIs for product value that we can see just from one snapshot of the website. Now, if you just look into your sales decks, when you go back and look into your salesperson sales decks and your websites, you can find out values just like that, right? But the question is, who is the customer? You have to be very clear. And the end values for the customer is what matters. So here are the 4 KPIs we got. Let's move on from here. Next slide, please. I'm going to take the first KPI, get Gen Z customers, and break it down to a little bit more. See, the first point is, if SnapMint gets Cashify any customer, Cashify is a customer, by the way, for SnapMint. If SnapMint gets Cashify any customer, 1, 2, 10, that's good for them, right? That itself is a good metric to have. So we should definitely know how many customers SnapMint got there, the D2C brands. That's number 1. And number 2, in that group of customers who bought the products, what is the contribution of Gen Z? Because that is what they have said at the very beginning, that we will get you Gen Z customers. So if I detail it out now from here, next slide, please. I can see that now I break it down into 2 KPIs. One is, for every D2C brand, what is the number of customers that SnapMint is getting them? And out of those customers, what percentage is actually Gen Z? So now we have got 2 very clear, straightforward KPIs from here. Moving the ball along, and I put the formulas here for you to see how to bring the formulas home. It's very simple mathematics. There's nothing special about that. So yeah, once we finish this whole thing, there will be the counters will open for food, so that the food can be taken. But let me just quickly finish the next 15 minutes. We'll finish the whole thing here. So we have gotten this to this point where from first image, we have picked up these 2 very important product outcomes and values. Let's keep moving. Next slide. Another group exercise. Let's pick up the next value, which is SnapMint gets you tier 2 to 5 city customers. If I break it down, again, please take out your phones. Let us see, can you find out more than 1 detailed KPIs from this? Can we find out more than 1? And this is Slido poll. Nikita will be up this time. Yep, there it is. All right, next poll. Is it the number of cities customers come from? Is it the sum of tier 2 to 5 city customers? Aggregate of percentage of tier 2 to 5 city customers? And is it percentage of tier 2 to 5 city customers? Which one are these? All right. Brilliant. I think I'm going to close the poll in another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The poll is closed. Absolutely right. The first one is absolutely correct. That, okay, but there is one more point which I want to put here. It is also great that Snapmint can show to their customers that, hey, we have brought you consumers from 30 cities or 50 cities or 80 cities, so that they can show that they are really penetrating it across multiple cities. So if I go from here, the right answer, go back to the product, go to the presentation, would be two more important KPIs here. KPI number one is the number of cities that Snapmint has brought its customers from, and the percentage of those end consumers who are from the tier 2 to 5 cities, so that actually you can see how much of that has come from tier 2 5. This is the very, very important part of figuring out what the strategy is. All right, let's move from here, keep moving. I have added a couple of more KPIs, like deliver more revenue, because if you remember, they talked about revenue growth and AOV growth, right? Average order value growth. So I've added a few more KPIs exactly in the same essence. By just looking at one of their images, we can now find out, go to the next slide, 9 KPIs. There are 9 performance value indicators, product outcomes, which we can find by just looking into one image. Now that's just one image. If you go back and see your own product website, if you go back and see your own sales decks, you will see that there are a whole bunch of these outcomes lying everywhere for you to find it. There will be always a noun and a verb pair. You can find out what those things are looking like. You can detail them out like this. So that's my first step that I can show you here. Right? 9 KPIs we have found out. Now the question is, what are we going to do about this? How do we measure these things? Right? So let me take a few minutes to measure. How do we do the measurements and stuff? So the next step is, start looking into the data by picking up one example. So let's pick up the percentage of aggregated 2 to 5 city customers that we are looking at to see which customer is doing good, bad, and ugly in the entire space, right? So move on. So imagine these are your customer names. Cashify, Intex, Duroflex, Nilkamal, Godrej, Pulp, Snitch, Traya, Safari, and Hammer. And this is the percentage of 2 to 5 tiered cities contribution for each of these customers. So now again a poll that I would like to run here is, based on this information, which customers do you think are not getting their value? Which customers that I showed to you? So Cashify, Duroflex, Intex, can you go back to yep, this is the number. Which one of these guys are not getting the value from the product for getting the average number of 2 to 5 tier cities customers into their kitty? All right? See the numbers? Let's go back to the poll. Cashify is number 1. Intex is there. Duroflex is there. You can choose more than one, by the way, but that's also okay. So Cashify, Intex, and Duroflex is leading. Hammer, Tyra, and Safari is also there. Okay. Some people have put that. All right. What was the outcome that they wanted to show? Snapmint wants to show all these D2C brands that if you come with us, we will give you a lot of customers coming from tier 2 to tier 5 cities, which means the contribution of tier 2 to tier 5 cities in percentage number should be high, right? Which one of them is showing a high number and which one is showing a low number? The lowest ones are the first 3. Cashify, Intex, and Duroflex. If you have chosen any of this, you're right. So these are the 3 top customers who are not getting value from Snapmint's solution because they are getting a very small percentage of customers from the tier 2 to 5 cities. So there has to be a very thought out strategy about what should we do about them. So how do we, now go back to the next slide, please. Yeah. So how do we find out who is bad? Now, what was the logic that you followed? You looked at Cashify was 7, Intex was 9, Duroflex was 12, and so on and so forth. Everyone was behind, ahead of them. So the internal logic that all of you guys followed while voting is who is at the extreme end of the entire pond, right? Correct? So all the people who chose it from here, the rightmost extremities are the right answers. People who are actually looking at the extreme values and choosing them to be the outlier cases so that you can actually go and build for that. That's the right answer. So now what we do is we use the same graph and we convert this into percentiles. So now Cashify is occupying the 10th percentile, and Intex and Duroflex is occupying the 20th and 30th percentile, and everybody else is, so because that's the top 3 we looked at, right? So let's look into the top 3. This is how we score the whole thing. So next slide, please. So now we have seen this whole picture, right? What we did was we went through the verb-noun combinations. We found out the ones which made sense. We detailed them out. We made the KPIs for product values. We measured them, and the outliers we found out as the problematic characters, which we have to go back and handle. The question is, what are we going to do about that? How are you going to handle those outliers? So there comes in the next picture. So now what we're going to do is, you need to basically decide these 6, 7 questions. That for every problem that I see, every KPI I'm seeing, what is the cadence I will check it? Like, should I check it every day, every hour, every 2 hours, every 2 weeks, in 3 years, only on national holidays, only when managers ask me to find it out? What is the cadence at which you would want to check for that specific KPI? That's one. Second thing is, who do you want to check it for? Your enterprise customers, your segment A customers, your high-touch customers, low-touch customers, your high-paying customers. So what segment do you want to check for? Third is, what are you checking for? Like, you're checking for a KPI, of course, like percentage aggregated tier 2 to 5 city customers, and number of cities, and number of revenues, and AOVs, etc., right? Fourth is, how long should a KPI deliver bad results before you say enough is enough and we need to do something about that? Is that KPI should remain bad for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 10 days, 15 days, 1 month? So you choose, you decide what is the cadence, you choose who is the customer for which you will check, you choose how long will you tolerate a bad result before you say, I need to do something about this, right? And then you can decide who should I notify it, through what medium, should I notify them people over email or Slack or whatever it is, and then what action needs to be taken, what SOPs need to be followed, right? So it all becomes a structure like this. If you go next slide here, it's a large slide, but it's very simple to read. There you have the outcome postulates on the left-hand side, which we discussed. From there, we found out the KPIs, for which there's a formula, for which we can decide that, for tier to 5 cities aggregate value, we will check every Monday. If the KPI is read for 1 week, then we will send out a notification to the CSM and the AE, and we want the CSM to do these activities A, B, C, D, E. This is how the whole thing works. So you have now completed the entire circle. We started from a very simple image. Get Gen Z customers, get tier 2 to 5 city customers, make the system more affordable and easily accessible, generate revenue uplift and AOV value. From there, we defined all the KPIs. For each of the KPIs, we defined what is good and what is bad, and then we defined what should we do if something is bad. The entire arc of the thing we have covered in exactly 22 minutes, right? Let me show you 2 more quick things before we go away. Nikita, can you just open the Zapscale thing first? So I'm going to show you exactly how this looks on Zapscale, just to give you a perspective. So if you are a CSM in SnapMint, and you have basically kept pace with me for the entire period, and you have not lost into the reels and stuff, you are still with me, then this is what you see. You see Cashify, don't scroll this. You see on the left-hand side, you see all the customers. You see Cashify, you see Intex, Duroflex, Nilkamal, Godrej, Pulp, all of these guys. On the right-hand side, you see 2 things. You see the count of customers that SnapMint has given them, and what is their percentile rank. For example, if you just go to the count of customers and click on that. Yep, good enough. Now this actually gives you that SnapMint could deliver only 8 customers on 2nd of May, right-hand side top, the date is given. On 2nd of May, SnapMint delivered only 8 customers to Mukhabara, and that's the worst performing result that they have gotten. Everybody else, if you see, it gets bigger, and the percentile values also keep getting bigger. So now we can know that who is doing poorly in that specific KPI. If I go to the, let's say another KPI, it's the aggregate 2 to 5 cities. Nikita, can you just go and click here? Yep. Let's see that how it shows up. So now we will be able to see that the whole thing will rearrange and will show you the results for that specific thing. Yep. Now we can see that. Yep. So we can now see which customer, which city, which customer is getting a higher value of aggregate 2 to 5 tier city customers. As it keeps going down, the color goes from red to yellow to red, of course. So which customers are getting poor value from tier 2 to C5 cities, we can see that. This is how we find out what the problem is. Now what's the next step from here? Once we have this visibility done, you can just go to playbooks. Here we can choose and we can actually have a look at what are the playbooks we have built. Remember we made these 9 KPIs, right? The revenue, the tier 2 5 city averages, all of those things. If I go here and I click on the software usage playbook, yep, we can see all these KPIs. What should you do if the number of customers is bad for 1 week? What should you do if Gen Z customers result is bad for 1 week? And so on and so forth for each of these KPIs. If you open any of these playbooks, you will see the similar structure that on every cadence you are checking for that KPI to be bad or not. And if that's the case, you're informing your account manager, CSMs, AEs over Slack or email or chat. And there is an entire, if you keep going down, there is an entire SOP that you can write. Here it is, the entire remedial steps SOPs you can write about this step. This is our job as customer success people. Our job is not to do mindless tasks. Our job is to know what is the value that we are professing to our customers. Our job is to know what is that sales is telling our customers. Our job is to know that if those things are promised, how do we actually telemetrize it, measure it, and deliver it, and then think about it that, okay, if something is depressed for a amount of time, what should we do about that? Now, can you go back to our presentation? Now, we have done this thing for every customer that we have spoken to, and we have actually built up a whole library of these outcomes for a lot of different kinds of businesses. So if you are any of this, if you are any of these, you belong to, you are a CSM from any of these business verticals, your product serves any of these verticals, let us know. We already have pre-built KPIs for you. If you want to build your product KPIs with us, just give us a holler. You're on our WhatsApp, and you can actually set up a meeting directly with us. We would love to sit down with you, walk through your sales decks, walk through your website, build up the KPIs, build up the playbooks, build up the measuring system so that you can actually go to meetings showing exactly what part of the outcomes are not being delivered for your customers and what can you do to absolutely nail down and solve for it. Because like I mentioned, if your customers are getting value from your product, people will forgive anything. People have forgiven Tally for not even having a colorful UI. Right? People have forgiven lots of products for not doing a lot of things just because they work. So please do absolutely, look us up. Set up a meeting with us if you like. If you see the pamphlets, can you just give me a pamphlet, Kundan? Okay. On the pamphlets, you have all our scale tail groups, WhatsApps, LinkedIn, podcasts, everything else. You can do that. And of course, you can set up a meeting so that we can discuss this with you specifically for your business so that you can actually go back and build up your own outcome KPIs and stuff. By the way, this could not have been possible without Amit's help. So please give a round of applause to our the lead singer and the lead guitarist of Damage Control, a band which was just formed like 20 minutes before this event was. The lyrics were written just like that, and we just did it right here, right? We wing it, right? We are CS people. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. I have a lot of people to thank here, by the way. All the speakers who could find time from their super busy schedule. All the speakers, many thanks for your time. I know you guys are super busy, and please do clap for them. Thanks a lot. So, before I forget, I've got a few more people I need to definitely thank for. Anunay, Ananya, definitely you guys have worked a lot hard to make the whole thing happen. Thank you very much. people who have actually come from a very long distance. There are people who have come from Nagaland. Who is the gentleman here from Nagaland who's come here? There you are. Thank you very much, sir. It's a pleasure seeing you. We've also have people who have traveled from Delhi. That's a great job. And even more important, people who have come from Whitefield. Great job, guys. Thank you very much for showing up. I know it's a pain. So it is easier to go to Nagaland than to Whitefield. Trust me that, right? Also, the people who have been behind this entire thing, Hitesh sir is still around. Hitesh is around? No? Okay. Hitesh is a huge support in the entire picture, and never to forget our very, very good friend Ankit. Without Ankit, all of these events don't happen because it takes somebody to keep the whole thing together to make it happen. And a lot of thanks goes to the folks who actually made it happen, WhatFix. If I'm forgetting a few names, I'm sorry for that. But all the folks from WhatFix, thank you very much. Khadim has been a great friend and a great supporter for startups. So we will keep doing these events. We have tried to make it a little fun by adding a few polls and a few songs and a few things here and there. Last time we had a presidential debate type, a panel. This time we thought to go back to our natural self. By the way, there's also a CS event happening. Aditya, our friend Aditya, can you just wave your hand right there, right at the back. On Thursday, right, Aditya? Thursday, right? Thursday, please go to Moxo office. It is in Indiranagar. Please, if you come from Nagaland this far, make that event. All right? If you're coming from Whitefield, absolutely come again. Ziv is going to be here. People who don't know, Ziv is the Amitabh Bachchan of CS, right? So, our good friend Aditya is sitting down with him for playing Kaun Bana Crorepati. Please definitely do visit that. Check out all their posts and their groups. Be part of this. The only way this can really grow and become better is by these idea exchanges and the sharings that's happened here, right? Please do check out a couple of more products. Please check out App EQ that Mano has made. It's a lovely product you should definitely look forward to. Rupesh, can you please stand and wave? That's Rupesh, another founder here. They have built an absolutely awesome product for onboarding. Do that. And Devangsh, can you please, there he is. They are building an absolutely kick-ass Gen AI solution. So if your teams need for Gen AI, talk to them as well. Simply Smart is their solution. So a lot of people have helped build the whole thing together. And I would like to thank everybody else. Of course, my team, Rohit at the back, Nikita right here, Jaya right at the back. I have Wilson, which will wave. Okay, Mosmi, you've already met. Kundan right here. All right, all the people with black T-shirts with their names at the back are folks from Zapscale, okay? Hardeep is Mr. Hardeep is the only sir that we have got, okay? If food is bad, complain to them. They are the people to go and do all the complaints. With that, I think I would welcome Ankit to say the final words and wrap it up all for us. Thank you very much, guys. If you enjoyed this, I hope it's fun.